and welcome to the first episode of Top 5 Central Pokemon, where I'm going to provide you guys with 5 Pokemon to hard carry from Central area. If your main goal in mind is to win and climb in Pokémon Unite, putting your time to learn and understand these Pokemons will be well worth the effort right now. So let's start it off with Dodrio. Dodrio is a strong Pokemon with a high learning curve. However, its impact is very noticeable if played correctly, and if you're managing the enemy cooldowns and find good angles on this Pokemon, you can absolutely hard carry a game. So some of the objectives per game you want to think about as Dodrio is making a fast impact by hurting a weak lane. That's just identifying what kind of Pokemon an enemy team can actually survive and live against Dodrio and trying to attack the ones that are not those. So by doing this, you're going to find yourself in a bit of advantage. It's a very strong tactic for Dodrio. Now, Dodrio also loves to invade the enemy and delay their levels. Dodrio has insane movement speed, it has insane maneuverability. Use those in your game, delay the enemy levels by invading the enemy jungler at level 5. You have a lot of scoring pressure on Dodrio. You're going to be able to go and look for these backcaps, look for these early scores, build your stacks, and get ahead in the game if you play Dodrio like this. Continually looking for that score lead, continually looking for backcaps and opportunities to sneak ahead while not really putting your team at too much of a disadvantage. You have your good Unite move to come back into the fight for that. Some of the strengths of Dodrio is you have so much crowd control. Whether you take Drill Peck or Tri-Attack, you're going to either slow or stun them. You're going to push them back. You have lots of early impact with Dodrio as well. It's just an early game character. You hit level 5 and you're into the game. You hit level 7, you're even stronger. Level 9, it's pretty good, and your level 11 becomes even better. You have an early game impact. You can really get the game going. And to our last point there, you have a lot of snowball potential. When Dodrio gets ahead, it's very hard to shut down. You're doing a lot of CC, you're running all over the map, you're really hard to stop. It works well with supports. It's a very strong carry. You need to remember you can snowball very well as Dodrio. Now, some of the weaknesses of Dodrio is that you're very reliant on full heal. If you don't have this full heal, you're going to get stunned. This is going to really disrupt your movement and your flow of the game, and you usually end up dying if you get chain stunned like this. Now, overcommitting is a very big thing that happens on Dodrio a lot of the time. You're going to run around the map, you're going to feel you're very strong, you're going to go into maybe a tier 2, thinking you're going to get a kill, someone's going to eject away from you and you're going to miss that kill, and then you're going to be in a really hard situation. So what I want to say is, be mindful of overcommitting. And as we were talking about before, without the full heal, CC is your main enemy. If you get stunned, slowed, anything, any type of hindrance, Dodrio does not like it all. And it's really hard to come back from this hindrance when you're stunned, actually. So keep that in mind. And here's a little trick I have for Dodrio. It's a level 13 jump kick tech. So at level 13, you've instantly gained a full gauge of your boosted auto attack when you use jump kick. So you can boosted auto attack, then jump kick, then boosted auto attack, or use your empowered ability right away after. This is a little trick that Galu showed me and a lot of other players to something we can utilize. You make sure you use it. So the next Pokemon up on the block, this Pokemon really impressed me, and I was very surprised to put it here, but number 4 is going to be Mimikyu. I'm actually so surprised to see Mimikyu on this list, but after my experiences playing Mimikyu and playing against it, I actually find this Pokemon very powerful in the central area. It has an insane dash, which is mainly used throughout the central walls, and you can quickly exploit weaker junglers with the crazy level 7 invades. So some of your objectives per game as Mimikyu is to get your level 7 to enable your activity in the map. Getting this level 7 quickly means you can just start rolling the map. This is as simple as dashing through walls, taking down the Pokemon you dash to, whether that's a neutral or an enemy Pokemon, and then you get another dash. It's insane, absolutely crazy. Now, if you immobilize key targets on an enemy team, your team can wipe them down. So that's as simple as using your Night move, using your stuns, making sure that you're paying attention to who you need to take down in the fight, because if you do that and do that correctly, your team's going to easily have a very good fight. You can basically ult a hard carry and your team can take a 4v5 fight. Very nice. Now, another big objective for Mimikyu is to create fights where the enemies are scattered and on low health. And the reason why is because you can quickly clean up with the resets you get with the fear. You being able to bounce around, fear, stun, shadow claw, do everything like that, it's insane. And you're going to quickly get a lot of healing back, you're going to get a lot of damage in, and you're going to quickly take down the opponent, because that's a stun and an area of effect. So some of the strengths of Mimikyu is that you have a very insanely powerful engage. Your engage ability is actually crazy. You can jump from any side of the map And more importantly, you stun them as well when you land. So it is a big threat for enemy carries. It is a big threat for enemy tanks. People can get chain stunned. You can get ulti combo with that as well. Very powerful. Consider you're engaged. You have a lot of healing that can sustain you through fights. This is something very important to play and remember as Mimikyu. You can get a lot of healing done per game and per fight. So continually look to get these Shadow Claws, the big Shadow Claws with the boosted auto attacks. Make sure to continually keep moving, trying to get and weaving in your healing. If you don't weave in your healing, you're going to get destroyed. So make sure to really get that in, because that healing will sustain you for fights. You get a lot of healing based off the resets of Shadow Sneak. So do that, please. And of course, you are a reset god. This is like Cypher on drugs. You're going to be able to go boom, 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 just jump all through the enemy team and quickly take them down with the resets you get in plenty. So just consider that in mind. Now, some weaknesses to consider is the Mimikyu can be squishy. And if you're not healing, it's like actually you're a marshmallow. You just get shot right through. So keep that in mind, keep your healing happening. Otherwise, you're going to get destroyed. Now, you're also relying on getting some good levels. If you don't have good levels and you don't have squishy enemies on our team, sometimes taking down the tanks can become very hard and actually very problematic. You can get chain stunned, you can get quickly deleted by all sorts of abilities. So keep that in mind. Get your levels, keep farming, keep getting ahead, and keep picking on the squishy enemies. And you can be destroyed if you go in way too early. If you jump into the fight right away without actually calculating or seeing the opponent's Pokemon, you can very quickly end up being punished. Don't do this too quickly. And now a little trick I'm going to tell you about to how to execute on Mimikyu is this Shadow Sneak combo that I sort of come up with. What you want to do is if you get any kill, use Shadow Sneak again. I guarantee you it's the best way. A lot of people have been trying to weave in the next ability before this. If you don't use Shadow Sneak right away, there's a very good chance you could die. Whereas instead, if you use Shadow Sneak again, you're going to stun them again after a kill. Continually use the Shadow Sneak. Make sure you hit it, make sure you aim it. That's my best advice. Now, before we go any further, let me know down in the comments, what are your actual top 3 Central Pokemon which are going to carry this patch? And while you're doing that, drop a sub and like. It helps a lot for the algo, which means less people will stop picking F-tier Pokemons in your game. So, for the magical number 3, we're going to see Leafeon. Alright, Leafeon has just been nerfed, but did it make it any worse? Definitely not. I think Leafeon is still one of the craziest characters for securing in the game, and it can straight up influence the game from start to finish with its immense map roaming and early game pressure. So, what are your objectives as Leafeon? You want to blow up the squishies, you want to secure objectives, you want to roam the map, and you want to cause as much havoc as possible. So, once again, little TLDR, go for the squishies, one-shot them with Solar Blade, one-shot them with the Unite move, Emerald 2-step. Secure the objective with Solar Blade. This is so essential. You have the empowered Solar Blade, you should always be using that to try to secure the objectives. Get your team to hit it to low objective, and boom, you have one of the best secures in the game. It is almost as good as the Lucario's Power-Up Punch, so definitely something you can consider there. And you can roam the map with your extra movement speed. Make sure to run up and down and really look out for the enemies, put the pressure on, make the game very unfun and unlivable for the opponents. So some of the strengths of Leafeon is, as we were saying, you have this insanely strong secure and insanely strong damage. You can get a lot of value and benefit out of using these correctly, so make sure to use them nicely. Make sure to be fully aware of what's happening in the game when you're running up and down, and also using these damage dealing tools to one-shot the squishies that are in your way. Your fast Unite move and your fast movement speed gives you a lot of pacing in the game. As we're saying about roam and cause havoc, you need to do this because your Unite move is going to come out quickly and you're going to quickly run around the map. You should be checking the enemy jungle, really just putting the pressure on. Remember, pressure on is essential in Leafeon. Now, your weaknesses, you're very frail. You're very hurt by CC. You get crowd controlled, Leafeon's not going to have a great time. You need to move in and out of bushes to gain charge for your passive. So you need to actually run outside of bushes, and that can sometimes reveal you. And as our last weakness, you can be KO'd during the Unite move. A lot of people believe that you're going to be invincible in the Leafeon Unite move and instant engage the Leafeon Unite. Wait for the right opportunity. You can get one-shot and KO'd. Characters that, like Inteleon, can actually easily kill you in this. So, a little trick to execute on Leafeon is the Unite Eject button combo. You can Unite someone, and if they eject out, you can eject with them during the slam down of Emerald 2-step. It will do the damage based on how far away you are, and then you can quickly combo that with the Solar Blade. So, okay, on to the next. After some incredible buffs, which have clearly made it a strong central Pokemon again, let's not forget Mew. This Pokemon is absolutely insane right now. And if you don't know how to play Mew in Central, you can literally just YOLO it until you get the full clear down. But leaving Central level 5 is insanely powerful as Mew, and something you have to try when playing this character. Getting level 13 is probably the #1 priority to being OP as Mew. So going through the objectives, yes, please get the levels. Your level 13 cooldown reduction is absolutely insane and gives you like the most amazing Mew game. Now, if you secure objectives, you're going to want to secure them with Mew. You have Electro Ball, you have Surf, you have Beam. All 3 excellent secures. You know, really give it a try. Like, Surf is really good if they're trying to contest secure with you during the wall, and there's like, I guess, a lot of CC in the pit as well. So you just Surf in, you knock them all away, you usually get the raid. Now, you can poke your enemy down so much as Mew. So make sure to have that Beam and Wall available. Just poke them down, keep shooting the beams, keep lowering them down. It's gonna be a very hard game for them to play. Now, it's the same thing, it goes a little bit further. You can out-duel the long-range mages and you can whittle away the tanks. Continually use and cycle through your spells, change and adapt your playstyle as Mew. That's just all the objectives you wanna do as the game. And what are the strengths of Mew? You have unlimited utility. This character can swap between a poke Pokemon, a secure Pokemon, a CC bot. You can do whatever you want. Its amazing Unite move enables how you play Mew in many different ways. So continually try to think about that, you know, use this utility, use this ability to be a strong Pokemon in your game consecutively, you know, continually change your moves. Think about what's best in this situation. Don't really stick on one move too long until you truly understand what move is good right there. It's a strength of Mew and you have to use it. Now, what are the meat weaknesses? Now, as I said, this character is super all-rounded. Almost one of my best ones, right? So, you do have unlimited utility. You're still squishy. You need to really pay attention that you can still get one shot. You can still screw up fights if you are not paying attention to your position. So, you know, keep an eye on that. Adjust how you play based on how the game's going. And you are reliant on levels. If you forget to farm, if you get too carried away killing the opposition, you can become very underleveled and become very useless. Make sure you hit level 13. Make sure you're farming. Make sure you're impactful still throughout the farming. That's the hard bit with Mew. And a little trick to execute, this is a well-known understanding, the Surf and Unite auto one-shot. So you activate the Unite move, you wait about 1.5 seconds, you activate Surf then while coming onto an opponent, you target them with the auto attack and you just chase them down with agility, and then you one-shot them when the Unite move explodes. If you want to be a bit more careful, you can wait till 4 seconds within the Unite move, then Surf, then auto attack, then agility away, and that's a guaranteed one-shot. About 7,000 damage right there. And now, here's for the #1 central Pokemon of the patch. It's Zoroark. Now, so why is Zoroark #1? Zoroark still is the premier assassin in Pokemon Unite, and getting level 5 before 8 minutes 50 is not only a scary premise, but it is one of the most terrifying ganks in this game, and something that no player ever wants to endure. Zoroark is one of the biggest snowballers in Pokemon Unite, with the ability to completely take over a game if the right elements are there. So why is it #1? It's got this snowball potential that is like really just starting a snowball from the top of Mount Everest. It's going to come down at you so hard, he's going to run at your team, and it's going to really put a lot of pressure on the map. Its high skill ceiling and medium skill floor mean that most Zoroark, confident Zoroark players are going to have excellent games and be really refined in actually getting the combos off, getting the amount of survivability and mobility in the game that they want and need. So, and talking about that, the mobility and survivability of this character are extremely high under the right skill ceiling. So when the player is confident and comparable to a good player, their Zoroark gameplay is going to be so fluid, so excellent, it's very hard to pull them down. So what are your objectives per game as Zoroark? Your main job is, you know, execute some squishies. That's usually by landing your combo, chain stunning them, and then just one-shotting them with the final slash. That's an insanely powerful ability. And you combo threats into this one-shot range. So you should be understanding, okay, who's my threats? Who's annoying? Do I want to kill the support, the attacker? These are your objectives in the game. And you're going to create an immense pressure for the enemy team from early to late game. So that means just roaming around and one-shotting anyone you come into contact with. So the strengths of Zoroark is you probably have the best mobility in Pokemon Unite. You're able to quickly dash, zip in and out of any fight you want in any direction. It is the least linear Pokemon in this game, and it really shows as a strength. You definitely have the most freeing moveset, which allows you countless ideas in aggressive and defensive plays. Like talking about this Feint Attack and Shadow Claw, Feint Attack and Cut, even Night Slash. They're all excellent for aggressive and defensive plays. Both of them allow for defensive utility and aggressive utility such as chain combo stuns, healing, getting spacing and movement, and also repositioning yourself throughout the fight. And you also have an excellent secure on objectives with the final slash of feint attack and the final dash of night slash. And these are both executes on opponents. So really, you can't get better than this. And your weaknesses. So then what is Zoroark weak to? You still can get chain stunned. Like anything else in this game, if you get slow bolted, if you get stunned over and over again, you can't click full heal, you're gonna still die. It's just how Pokemon Unite works. You can still die to this. Be careful, be mindful. You can be invincible in Zoroark. If you're a very good Zoroark, you will never stand still in one spot, and it's almost impossible to hit you. But if you are still for more than like maybe a second, you're going to be killable, and you have to understand that, and you have to keep moving. So you're not invincible unless you're moving. And the mobility spells in this game, so like other people using eject button, other people using their dashes and invincibility tools, they can really screw up your combos and actually completely ruin a game if you engage a little bit prematurely. Consider that and keep that in mind. Make sure you're engaging when they can't escape. Make sure you're engaging when they don't have these abilities up to hinder your gameplay. And so here's a trick to execute in Zoroark. So a lot of you know that Illusion turns you into another Pokemon, and it can negate the damage if you are illusioning in the right time. However, what not a lot of people know of is it actually is a mini cleanse as well. So you can dive the pad and go into those flux zones, and if you click Illusion, you will have a momentary second where you are completely cleansed from any slow effect. This can be good for chasing down a kill, from running away, from escaping from their flux zone, which is a very big thing in Zoroark. So that's just a little trick for you to mind. You've now got the top 5 best Pokemon. You can play the best Pokemon every game. It will be irrelevant unless you dedicate yourself to truly learning more about Pokemon Unite, which you can do here by clicking on this video on your screen to learn.